Okay, everybody, it is news day for the JP side, and what a big news day is we've just had the producer letter dropped for the month of June, and it should be no surprise that with the interest in trying to balance the elements, lesson away from darkness, we are going to get a really powerful unit for the month of June, and another 100 cost unit was expected from my side, but you might be a little bit surprised in this one. So here we go. Starting off with the producer letter here. Here we are. It's time to talk about, some of the things that have been going on with the 1.5 anniversary. How satisfied the team is with what's going on, and apparently there is maybe a little bit of information about I don't see an apology here. That's strange. There's gotta be an apology somewhere in here. I don't see an apology. What I do see is our first unit for the month of June, and here he is. Jaden is coming to the game. He is going to be our big unit for the month. For this upcoming month. He is a 100 cost unit, much as I expected, but there's a few surprises in his kit. First of all, let's take a look. He is a light elemental character primarily. He has 3 jobs, and these jobs might not have been the ones you were expecting, because we have his primary job is a brand new one, sub job is going to be Black Mage, and sub job, which I'm enjoying calling it that now, is Red Mage. So a pretty interesting mix that probably tells you a little bit about what his character is essentially going to be, and that is a mage and a ranged mage at that. Even though he is sporting his super Gatling gun, as you can see right here in the preview picture, it is interesting that he is going to be a magic-based damage character. His limit burst is going to be magic damage that also reduces, I believe, protection against magic-related attacks, and as you can see, a large base damage. But not only that, I do believe it is supposed to be a 3 hits? I wanted to say in my early translation it was hits. No, it's not 3 hits, but it's essentially like reducing the power for, it seems like, 3 times. It's not 3 turns, which is, the indicative of a brand new mechanic that we are going to see. Also, that smile is going to scare the ever-loving hell out of me. Right there, you can see it, kind of. If it's going to be essentially a reduction for 3 times, I mean, we've seen protection for 3 times. Instead of 3 turns, so that's a little more interesting and a little more useful, and points to Jaden being an incredibly scary magic damage dealer. We also see 2 other abilities from his preview. First of all is a large base damage attack that also has a 3-turn shooting resistance down after increasing penetration rate and then dealing magical damage. So this is also single target. Seems like he's going to be a very single target focused unit. And reducing both shooting resistance means that he could fit on a shooting team, but also he could potentially fit on a magic team. I'm very interested to see how this kit works out. We have not seen a magic damage dealer. That was not a thing that Barrett was, but color me interested. We're also going to talk a little bit more about the implications of some of the stuff we're going to see with this unit later. And the last one, focusing around himself, is a buff for speed for allies that also greatly increases magic power. So not only does he increase speed for other units, he can also increase magic power. That means that he's going to be great with a ton of other mages. And wow, just looking like he's going to be a hell of a character. Now his main job is called King of the Stag, or King of Stag, King of that Randall nation, which is pretty interesting. Strong presence in the main story will now be available as a UR unit. An exclusive job that is a magic attacker type Middle guard, it is possible to make magical power dependent attacks from a long distance, and it is possible to inflict big damage while increasing penetration, mental penetration, and shooting attack resistance as well. So all of that is pointing that he is going to be an incredibly powerful unit, and this shouldn't be too surprising. Like, they've indicated that they want to rebalance elements, and one of the best ways to put dark in check right now is putting out a very powerful light elemental unit. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, you know, just right before they announce the banner, it's like, okay, dark is too powerful. It was going to be fire, but light now. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be a really strong character, and again, I want to talk a little bit more about him later. Let's continue on. So for next, we're going to be getting another side story. The whereabouts of the secret sword kind of relates to the previous side story that we got into the month of the merry month of May, which was also talking about the secret sword. So this could be this looks to be a conjoined thread as far as I can tell. That was with Velric as well as Ramir. There had to do with a special sword, and here we go as well. So we can see 3 new characters here. Those characters have not been seen in the story before, and always do love the addition of brand new characters. And more exciting is this, a brand new gun. I have been complaining about this in different formats lately, be they on Intervisions or whatnot, that we just don't see enough guns in the game. And here we go, a brand new one. And I assume that this is being made for a very specific character. Particularly, this is going to be a magic-based gun. But if it does also have an assault option that's fairly decent, then pretty happy to see that. Either way, going to be interesting to build this later on. And of course, we'll give you more previews of the side story once it's also out. Taking a look into the month of June, well, you're going to be getting some shards for this brand new character. Looks like a total of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 character shards, which is a pretty good start into a character that is a permanent edition, that is not a limited time unit. You'll eventually get this character, so getting some shards for him at the start seems pretty good. We'll have to wait and see what his step-up banners look like. Continuing on, we'll also see the return of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I'm not surprised. This is essentially a pretty easy one to just dump on the JP players and give a little bit of extra resources, some more of these pickup tickets, which are still a little bit mysterious. Once I get one of them tomorrow, I'll have a better understanding of exactly what it is and what it does. I assume it's just a summon ticket, but just in case there's anything special about it, I'll let you know. Other than that, just, you know, a way for people to max out the Crystal Chronicle ones, and it kind of makes sense after, you know, right around the time that FF7 is ending. You don't necessarily want to drop another big collaboration maybe right away, so this is a good way to drop something, give some players some extra resources after you probably made a fair bit of money off of FF7, and, you know, bring something back. And I'm glad to see Crystal Chronicles back. Alright, next up is a brand new feature for the game, kind of, I guess. It's a new event, the Armor Training Success Rate Increase, where you're going to see an increase in success rate from for basically a period of time. Once per day, you can also reset a single piece of armor for free, which is pretty nice. I mean, that means you don't have to depend on hammers. You can have a potentially easier way of rebuilding that weapon up, maybe getting better stats on it if you had a bad roll. So this is a good event just for potentially increasing it. Like, I don't think it's too amazing, but I don't think it's bad either. It'll be interesting to try this event out and see what I think about it. Yeah. Alright, new guild map. I think that this was kind of talked about already. Doesn't look anything too amazing, but something new to fight on. Looks a little bit of a distraction. Next up, Mog Shop will be getting some exchange limits changed to do with the number of awakening materials you can get, experience cubes, all different kinds of stuff, and I don't think this is really too much. There's also a little bit of a slight change with item exchange limits with the Fragment of Rainbow Feelings and Faint Memory. Both of those are getting a limit to how many times you can buy them, and it's changing a little bit, but nothing too terribly much. Just a whole bunch of this stuff. What is probably more on people's radar is this. This is our EX, our new EXs for the month of June for Awakening Gold units. So first of all, Victoria is going to be getting her EX Awakening. Shadow Lynx and Raryu will be getting it for the mid-tier characters. Shadow Lynx, I feel like a pretty good favorite, so it's nice to be seeing her. That's also going to work into something else later in the month. Raryu as well, I think people like him, so we'll see if that gets it. Continuing into the 4th week will be Glassy is going to be getting her original form in the game, not her mage form, will be getting its EX. Very excited to see that. Maybe we'll just see some really interesting EX. Maybe it'll be the same as Vern, don't know. But excited to see, as Glassy is still one of my favorites. Wraith will also be getting her EX, and last but not least, Ravi's the Thunder Dodge tank. Maybe it won't be just a meme anymore. Maybe she'll actually be truly amazing. Someone's going to write in, Umbra, she's already amazing. Well, I want her to be more amazing. Either way, there are your EXs for the month of June. Of course, subject to change if anything happens, but for now, we'll think that it is going to be that. And going on, the next selection quest for the month of June will be the Darkness Attribute 1. So that means, your brand new Shadow Lynx who's getting her EX. You can potentially get her up to a strong level that will make this just way easier. But Darkness is going to be the next one. So there's going to be a new UR non-limit burst dark-based character. As to who it could be, I don't entirely know at this point, and it doesn't overly matter to me. Just another unit being added to the game. Good, and a free one at that is also. And now we get into the month of June changes. The medal exchanges are going to happen. Expansion for recruitment requirements for guild. Guild scout function to potentially get new people. And AI adjustments are all what is slated currently for the month of June. And we'll see what happens into the month of July. Currently, just to give a small preview, we got some expansion of the number of party formations and duels, multis, towers, and quests. That will be coming a little later. Guild joint battles will also be coming. Pickup matches, raid animations, I think, will also be limited. Limited time guild battles will also get some improvements, as well as ways that you can acquire EX panels at once will also be changed. White Porcelain Tower, which could mean that the Porcelain Tower will also see a return in the very near future for the JP side. We've had the special story one for the 1.5 anniversary, but yes, that's all good. And some UI repair, hard quests, repair, and that's going. I think that's about it. That's everything that is in for the early month of June, and a little bit of a preview into the future. So let's wrap it up just talking about it. First of all, Glassy getting her EX. I'm so excited for this because it's going to be a counter to her mirror self, and of course, just one of my favorites. I've been waiting for her for a long time. Now all I need is Eldira, or Eldira, depending on how I want to pronounce it that day. And going to be really happy. Also, Kraith as well. Water, I'm just going to have a really good EX lineup for Water. In terms of looking at Dark, I mean, Shadow Lynx obviously is going to be a really big one, I think, because she just has such a long time place, and Raryu as well. Both of them being Dark units, that's good to know now, so that people can start raising them and getting them ready for the selection quests, and getting those done to get the new unit is also very exciting. And last but not least, in terms of the other EX units that I really want to talk about, of course, there's Ravi's. Ravi's is the one I'm kind of the most nervous about, but some people swear by her, and I think she's a good middle tier unit, and I want to see what her EX looks like, whether it's more defensive or more dodge. Let's just see how it shapes out. And Victoria, of course, one of the original Ice Spear units. I've had her forever. I probably have a ton of EX material ready for her. So EX Dragoon, sign me up for it. Might be a good preview into Kane. Might be just a great unit. We'll see. Maybe she gets a jump on a unit and charm them as well. I spike you and then you love me. But of course, the biggest conversation has to be had about the light element. And the light element is getting a major unit here. We're talking about an absolutely massive increase in terms of power. Yuna was already still is just an incredible unit and a really damage dealing magic unit with incredible survivability. So her getting a partner, a really strong magic partner. I mean, obviously there's Sakura, but Sakura doesn't have her EX. There's Marielle, who's a lower tier unit. Vina, whose kit isn't that good as a magic unit. And I mean, you have bits and pieces. You even have Elsie with, you know, some magic capabilities, but she's never Yuna. One of the things I feel has held Yuna a little bit back, thankfully back then, is that, you know, she really doesn't have the most amazing partner quite yet. But there's an entire, light mage team. Or if you just put Jaden and Yuna behind a really competent tank, that's probably going to be enough. Jaden is looking incredibly powerful, has specific equipment, and we'll probably be seeing maybe even Alexander coming to the game very shortly. Alexander is still one of the missing summons and would be a logical addition to the light elemental summon pool and would be, you know, potentially a really good shooting Esper as well. I'm not 100% sold that it will be Alexander or that we will even see it. I mean, there could just be a light, or there's definitely going to be a light week magic raid coming in the second week on the JP side. So anyone with Yuna, basically a free week, and anyone with Sakura, maybe, you know what I'll say, Mashiri. I said it. I said the bad word. Okay, but anyway, there's lots of vision cards. There's obviously the Bahamut card that supports light elemental mages. So Jaden is looking to be an incredibly powerful unit, and after everyone's already tapped out, boy, I hope there's a cheap way for people to get him who want him. Yeah, just spent on everything already, you may not have. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you in the next video. Take care. I'm out.